yay! 5 o'clock, Tuesday. Yes. I'd like to thank everybody showed up Friday. Ended up having over 4,000 views. That's pretty damn good. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I'll talk a little bit jump on now while I get this motherfucker to. Yeah, I know this is Bush League right here. All right, here we go. Oh, fucking hell. All right, there we go. So, yeah, I had a real good time on Facebook doing the whole 100 records that made an impression on me. Not necessarily my 100 favorite of those particular artists, but just 100 records that made me want to go and search out more of those particular artists, and then eventually the stuff that influenced them to do what they did. And then I did the whole make me choose between two bands. One thing I always wonder, why do y'all think that I'm into those bands with those fucking names that one, you can't even read it, and two, it's like a sentence. I don't like that stuff. Look at my 100 records. And when it comes to rock and roll, that's what I like. I don't like cattle embowelment, bowel movement, whatever the hell. I don't like none of that shit. I mean, pretty exciting to watch live, I imagine, but all right, people showing up. You're showing up quick. That's good. Well, you know, I went and I listened to the last part of what I did last week, and I realized that I skipped a whole. It was a small segment, but I skipped it. I'll get back to it here in a minute. I'm also going to push a few things tonight. I didn't want to do that earlier when lockdown started, because I know a lot of people got laid off. A lot of people lost their jobs, but now I know y'all got that good old Trump money that he sent you. So, you need to spend a little bit of it at ANTiSEEN.com. And so, how'd y'all enjoy Malcolm Sunday? I thought it was real good. The one this coming week, he's going to talk about Eat More Possum. That's a story. Where do you hear that one? But yeah, man. I guess you know, everyone's kind of lightening up on all the restraints and all. I mean, I guess there's still some people in their homes, cowered in the corner, going, coronavirus! Well, that's fine. I'm not one of those people. All right, so last week, I was talking about Doug Throgmorton being in the band, and then we talked about the transition from Doug to Steve Sadler, but there was one small bump in the road there. Again, ANTiSEEN, me, I guess, and Joe. Yeah, Joe was equally involved. And Tom. Tom was too. It's Tom's fault. We went outside the circle to get a drummer. Doug had quit the band, I don't know, 2 or 3 times. And we got a kid from Albemarle, North Carolina, where I grew up. And Tom lived for a while. But, you know, I guess we figured, you know, guy from our town, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, man, if it's not in there, it ain't in there. And, his name was Byron McDonald. He recorded 1 record with us. I'm going to show you the one he recorded. Do y'all remember this one? Boy, look at that. Look at how skinny I am there. Look at that. Ooh. Must have been malnourished or something. This is an original pressing in dog meat from Australia. Yeah, you're going like, all right, so this guy records this album with you. Why is Doug Throckmorton on the cover? All right, I'll tell you. Byron, that's him right there. Young kid, way younger than us. And a lot of times, I would have to say, especially with me and Joe, that didn't really gel too well. Young people. But, you know, he was a good drummer. He was a good enough drummer. You know, we recorded the record with him and stuff. And I think we played 1 show. And he's a hyperactive kid, you know, and he just played so fast that, you know, everything was faster than it had to be or should be. Now, I'd rather it be too fast than too slow, but goddamn, how about a nice happy medium? So, we record this record. You know, and this kid had pictures of Eric Carr all over his walls. So when we get the mix down for Noise for the Sake of Noise, we're listening to it. Man, it's noisy. It's raw. We love it. Yeah, this is the way ANTiSEEN's supposed to sound, right, Chabba? Oh, yeah. A kid that's got Eric Carr all over his wall might listen to Noise for the Sake of Noise and go, man, this ain't my bag. Well, one day while me and Tom were at work at Transworld X-Ray building X-ray equipment, my wife at the time, Dee, you know, Carrie's mama, she called me up and says, at work, you know, if you call it work, that's important. You didn't have cell phones. They had to call you to the office, you know, and she says, Byron's dad is here and backing a pickup truck up to the porch and they're carrying all this stuff out. And we're just like, oh well. We called him Spit Bubble. And that's the way we credited him on the record as a punishment for bailing out without being man enough to say anything. It wouldn't be the last time that'll happen in this band's history. But, because he would sit around and do these little spitball, like he would, and he'd be, we're just like looking like, man, it's gonna be, looks like he's got feathers in him or something, you know, but, what are you gonna do? But, so Byron was gone, and at the end of this record, we put 4 live tracks that recorded with Throckmorton. And they're pretty raw. It goes with the noise for the sake of noise theme and everything. But we were down at Myrtle Beach one weekend doing some shows, and we had one frame left on the roll of film, and we went down to Myrtle Beach. This was early in the morning. Everybody waking up, hungover, grouchy, and we had the one picture. Bam! It's the greatest damn band picture ever. The Ramones couldn't take a band picture this good. So that's going to be the record cover, even though Throckmorton only played on 4 songs. So there's that. Oh, and then let me explain a little bit about Noise for the Sake of Noise now. Honor Among Thieves finally came out. We got an offer from a label in Australia, a fellow named Dave Lang, starting his brand new label called Dog Meat. And he asked me to draw the logo for him. Let's see if I can get it on there. That's the logo I did for him. He used it on all the Dog Meat records. And man, I think we were, this was Dog Meat #1 right here. And it's got re-recordings of, stuff we had done already. It's got some brand new songs, but our way of thinking was, if this is coming out from, in Australia, our records never made it down there. So, maybe they'll be hearing these, for the first time down there. And, we just figured Australian record in Australia, our American records here in the U.S. But, I think more of these made it to the States than stayed in Australia, because here it is, 2020, and nobody from Australia, no booking agent, no promoter, has ever had what it takes to bring ANTiSEEN to the land down under. That's a call out. You want ANTiSEEN to come down to Oz? Well, it's going to cost more than tapping our ruby shoes together to figure it out. We'll come. Hell, we played Japan. All that's left now is Oz, New Zealand. So, Byron's out again. Byron's out. Not again, but he's out. And we get Throckmorton back. Doug kind of reluctantly rejoined and everything. But he just, the thing he just didn't like, he didn't like the traveling, It's like, and man, as Malcolm pointed out Sunday, this is the late 80s going into the early 90s, man. We were on a roll. We were playing a lot. And we played all over the world at this point, I'll tell you about going to Europe for the first time later. But, every time we tour and go out, yes, the album cover for this has been the same every release and every reissue. Rose Tattoo ANTiSEEN 2021. Hey, that's what I'm talking about up in here. But anyway, we're touring and we're meeting all these people from these labels, and ANTiSEEN the Cosmic Psychos. That'd be a wonderful one too. Oh yeah. We like those guys. But man, what about ANTiSEEN, Cosmic Psychos, and Rose Tattoo? Damn. Maybe special MC Helen Reddy? Yeah. But so we were meeting all these guys from all these labels, man. Everybody wanted to do something with us. Everybody. We did stuff with Sub Pop, Sympathy for the Record Industry. We were still doing stuff with Ajax. and now we're working with dog meat, and there was one-offs all over the world doing stuff, and man, we were cranking it out. This is around that time. It seems like the period from like 88 to maybe 94 or 5. It almost seemed like we had something coming out every other month, because you'd record them and do them and then send them in, but they wouldn't come out in the order that you finished them or sent them in. Speaking of which, it took 2 years, or maybe a little more, for Honor Among Thieves to finally come out. And the thing that pushed it over the edge to make it finally happen is a fella named Mark Turner contacted Rick Knoll at Bonafide Records up in Red Lion, Pennsylvania, and says, "Hey man, why don't we co-release this album? And all you got to do for me is put my band name or my label name on the thing." And Rick agreed, and there was one more hold up. Actually, there's 2 more big hold ups. We had put out EP Royalty already, and Rick really liked the material on EP Royalty, so he kind of insisted upon, let's take the 3 best tracks from that, and they took NC Royalty, Ruby, Get Back to the Hills, and White Trash Bitch. He wanted to include them on this, so we took off what were considered the weaker tracks, I guess, on here, because like I told you, man, we had over an hour's worth of shit for this album, but we didn't use it all. We didn't know that, though. But, so if you get a first pressing of Honor Among Thieves, that's what the cover looks like. It's black and white cover with only 3 of us. Because at this time, we fired Ace, fired Brad. We were pissed at them. We didn't want them to get no credit. I know that's a shitty way to look at things, man, but you see it when you get older. But when you're young and in it, man, you're kind of like, you treat this whole band thing like going to war. You play a show with your favorite band, and it's like, yeah, before the show and after the show, they're your favorite band, but when you go up to play, man, they're your worst enemy, and it is your duty to blow them off the fucking stage. If it's not, then you probably shouldn't be playing in your band. You should probably join their band and be a roadie or something. Hey, you young bands, man, you play with us, you better come thinking that you're going to blow us off the stage. Because if you don't, we don't want you there. We like the competition. See, the competition gets you hot chicks. All right. Got a note here about the broadcast on Friday. Going to have a special treat for you. I'm not going to tell you what it is until Friday. Yeah. You play with us, goddamn, you better come loaded for bear, because I'll tell you what, if you don't, you're going to get smashed. We may be old, but we ain't calm, you hear me? And we ain't going to take it easy on you. Bonafide and Chopper, co-release. This is what the original looks like. Now, we had a really good cover for this. I think this cover is much more inferior. I wasn't happy with this, but it is what it is. I mean, that's what the original press looks like. When TKO decided to re-release this thing, and I don't remember what year that was, maybe 2002 or something. The record was featured with the original photo. Enough time had passed, and oh shit. I'm sorry about this fucking amateur ass. But enough time had passed, and I grew up some, and we found the negatives to the original, and we used the original cover. And the first reissue was a gatefold. And this poster, we put this poster, man, together by cutting and pasting tons of black and white photos, man. Like, shit, man, about 40. And we made it as big as it was going to be. And man, we didn't know. We didn't know anything about printing posters. You print the fucking poster, But it was so damn expensive, man. We couldn't make that happen with the first pressing of Honor Among Thieves. So it came out with a little Xerox version of the poster. So that's the first reissue. And just recently, the second reissue came out. Now, we kept everything pretty much the same, except for when we did the reissues, we took off the EP royalty tracks and made it be as much like we originally intended for Honor Among Thieves to be. And, oh yeah, here's the first reissue was see-through orange vinyl. Original pressings are black. This pressing, the one that's out now, which I got a rack full of them over there. If you guys want to keep current with the program, you can order Honor Among Thieves anytime. Oh, look at there, opaque orange. That's beautiful. Look at that. Nice black sleeve it comes in. And then finally, after, I don't know, 30 years and 2 reissues, we finally got that, God damn it. Oh, here it is. We finally got that poster put out in its original form. Man, I carried around a gigantic negative of this. Negative was the size of this. It was this big. Actually, I think this is a little smaller than it actually was. But that's the poster, man. I put that thing together by hand. And if you get the newest edition of Honor Among Thieves, you'll see it in there. And I'm not going to bother messing with all this right now. But yeah, so before long, Doug is out again. My audio's wonky, huh? How's it sound now? Goddamn thing keeps falling all the fucking time. But yeah, so Byron's gone, Doug's out again. This is when we get Steve Sadler. And that'll start into the time of Southern hostility. But I really don't know what to tell about this period because there was so much going on. And when we signed to a label called Rave Records to do Southern Hostility. And they were out of San Francisco. And the guy that ran Rave Records would be the guy that would take us to Europe for the first time. And man, going to Europe, I mean, we went so much after that it was just it kind of became like second nature. Like, we got used to going. It was almost like a home away from home, especially Germany. But man, it was really, really awesome to be over there. And at the time, we had not written the song Stormtrooper. We had only been doing the intro, Today Your Love, and we would go right into I Don't Ask You for Nothing. And when we did that for the first time in Germany, our first show was in Bremen, Germany. And, man, the place was sold out. They were turning away people. We were really humbled, just like, whoa. But it was quite a feeling to be on stage. Of course, you're playing the Ramones intro, but then you kick in to your original song, one of your first originals, the first batch of originals you ever wrote, and these people from a foreign country are singing along to it. Man, that was quite an experience. I don't know, all you guys are playing bands, I hope you get to experience that one day. Going to a different state is one thing, but going to a different country, and they know your stuff. Especially back then when, it was harder to, it's easy now to get your stuff all over the world in just a matter of days, but back then, snail mail and tape trading and video trading and stuff like that. That's how it all went down back then. But I'll tell you what. I'm gonna confer with the other guys that were around during this time and say, talk to them about what point, because I don't want to just gloss over this time period, but then again, there's so much going on. I don't know what to zero in on. Maybe I'll call Tom at some point, talk to him, and we'll see. But yeah, I'm sorry about all the technical difficulties. The light, the fucking audio, all this shit. And hey, David, how you doing, man? But you know what I think I'll do for the last little bit? But I do have a surprise for you guys on Friday. So be sure to be here for that, Friday at 5. And don't forget, Sunday at 5 o'clock, Malcolm Tent will be doing the next part of his mini-series. And also, too, now I can announce to you that right here on the ANTiSEEN page, Monday, Mad Brother Ward will be doing his thing. And I guess I fucked something up again. God damn, man, I'm really sorry about today, y'all. This is fucked up. But, I can't get this right. But, I guess what I'm going to do is, I'm going to close out the last bit here. I will answer some of your questions. I'll see if I can think of some of the ones you've sent already, but if you guys got questions, go ahead and shoot them on through. I'm close enough to this thing. I think I can read them. I don't need my glasses right now. So listening to the Japanese fans say, man, hey, listen, I'm going to tell you something. Who said that? Becky said that? Yeah, Becky did. I played, now listen, I'm not one of these guys that when we get a new recording, I don't like being at home and bringing people around. Hey, listen to our new stuff. Listen to our new. I don't like for people to do that to me, so I don't do it to them. I just wait and release it, and if you want to hear it then, you can hear it. But this was a little special. Playing the live recordings from Japan. Yeah, I played it. It was actually Christmas Eve, and I played it for my whole family because they wanted to hear it. I didn't play the whole thing. I just really wanted them to hear "Fuck All Y'all" when Rakutsu Blizzard and Shootmaster came on stage with us and did "Fuck All Y'all," and then hearing the audience sing and everything, man. And when it was all over, and we put the audio from the last show we did in Japan where we walked off stage and the audience was chanting, "Please don't go, please don't go, please don't go." And man, my whole family was teared up, and they were just proud and happy, and I was too. So why did Tom leave the band? Well, you know, Tom did 9 years in the band, and man, he just had a thing that he wanted to do with his life, that playing in an underground punk band was just kind of holding him back for it. I mean, man, you know what he does now? He's road manager for Weezer, you know. So he had stuff he wanted to do, and he just kind of had to go do it. I mean, you know, no big heel turn when that happened. I mean, I guess there may have been a little heel turn. I don't know. But, yeah, we got everything straight. Man, Tom O'Keefe's one of my oldest and best friends, and we've been through so much shit together. If you're still there, Tom, chime in if you want to. These guys want to know a little something. Hey, let me scroll down some of these. I think I missed some questions. Oh, that's a good question, because that is this time period we're talking about right here. Somebody, Dylan Williams wants to know about the "My God Can Beat Up Your God" single. Can you tell me a little history? I see more, but I can't make the damn thing show me more. A little history of how that came out. Well, that was on Dog Meat, Australian label that put out Noise for the Sake of Noise, and it had all kind of connections within the family thing, like I'm telling you about. Like Steve Sadler recorded, he was our sound man at the time. See, like Malcolm said before, this was a time when you could travel with a sound man and a merch guy and a roadie, and you know, we had all that. And Steve was our sound man for a little bit, and the B-side of that, you know, where we do Surfing Freebird, that was recorded at a place in Myrtle Beach by Steve. And I don't think we had recorded a studio version of "My God Could Beat Up Your God" yet. And it was taken from that live tape too. And that cover picture, man, that was all Joe Young's idea. He's like, "Man, we should have you, like, you know, with a crown of thorns and holding a cross like Christ. And, like, instead of being like, you know, like you're suffering, all like holding a gun." Well, we wanted the biggest gun we could find, and that happened to be in the possession of my father-in-law at the time, Don Daze. Rest in peace, Don. But that was a 44 long barrel with a scope, man. That was a hand cannon. And yeah, it made, man, that picture, we probably released about 3 frames out of that photo shoot, one for the cover and then a couple more to, man, when the first time we went to Europe, that picture was everywhere. Like, they made big posters of it, and we did a reprint of that poster in the Southern Hostility Demos LP. But yeah, we got a lot of mileage out of that. There were shirts of that image, and it was on magazine covers in Europe, and yeah, you know, that's I think that may be one of our records that I don't have. You know, I think I may have one copy of it. Let's see. Most brutal blading live on stage. Man, that was a Gatorade bottle. I was new at it. I didn't know what my forehead could take, and I didn't know how easy your skin would cut. And I didn't know how easy broken glass would just like go right through it, man. And I told that earlier on one of these tales, and I really thought I fucked up that day at that show. I thought that was it, but There's been a few more, man, and it was always involved glass. I can usually do pretty good with a weapon. Like when I use that sickle and stuff, man, it's like, it makes a very small hole, but produces a lot of juice. Now, I kind of like doing that one here recently. I mean, look at all that. There's tons of cut, on my relief mat head. Let me see if we've got any more questions in here. Let's see. Adam Wolf, the Dean of Sods, wants to know favorite celebrity meeting. Oh man, I'd have to think about that. Met a lot of celebrities. God damn, we met Jim Dandy. What are you talking about? We met Rudy Ray Moore. What do you mean? Come to Scotland, Gordon. Gordon Thompson. Gordon Thompson says come to Scotland. Gordon, we'd love to come to Scotland. We played the UK, but only in England. Never Scotland or Ireland. Tell a promoter over there that's worth his weight in shit that if he's got the balls to bring us over. COVID-19 World Tour. Ireland and Scotland. Wales. Man, we'd love to play Wales too. Let's do it. Do you miss Tremont Music Hall? I sure do, Eric. That was the size hall that this city needed. There so many bands from so many different genres of music, don't even stop in Charlotte anymore because they don't have that size hall. All they have is, tiny places or the big corporate run joints. I mean, I guess some still playing. I don't keep up with what's going on out there, man. At those corporate joints, I don't care. But yeah, that was the best. That was the best damn hall we had, man. And I'm sure I'm not the only one that misses it. I'm sure there's tons of people out there that miss it. Best band ever, David. Hey, David. Best band ever. You mean besides us? It's either the Ramones or AC/DC. One of those. I mean, just like us, they put out the same record 150 times. What was the inspiration for the song Atomic Clock? Oh, okay, that's a good question, Nick. Mad Brother Ward had some recording that he used his phone to record some guy at a bar one night rambling. And it's weird how the inspiration will come from the weirdest places, and we just heard these ramblings, and it's like, we got to use this somehow. This is too good to let go, and we just we always wanted to do some of those avant-garde noise things. Mad Brother Ward and myself and Malcolm Tent, we all like that crazy avant-garde jazz, that stuff that was on Impulse. This Coltrane was doing on. Coltrane was like the spearhead of that kind of stuff. We just wanted to do some of that. The MC5 and the Stooges both delved into that because they were into Coltrane and Sun Ra and all that stuff, and I guess it was a natural progression. Who knows? One day we may do a 2-record set of that kind of shit. I don't know. It could happen. Are those posters still around? Bloody Randy, I got some spares that didn't get put in the records, man. I can send you one. Just private message me your address. I'll get one out to you. It's not the original big size, but it's the image, and it's pretty big. But I'll get you one. See what else we got here. I already answered that question. ANTiSEEN and Flat Tires 2021. Man, you'd have to talk with Flat Tires about that. If they're game, we're game. Let's see. Okay. My friend and I met you at Trash American Style back in the mid-90s. We were completely starstruck. Wow, was Jim Dandy there? Let me see here. see more. It was like meeting the Ramones. Love you guys. Well, man, yeah, hey, look, I'm just picking with you. We appreciate that, man. And, you know, a long time ago, people used to say, you know, that I should be unaccessible to, like, you know, this is people advising us and giving their opinion. There wasn't much of that going on because we're unadvisable. But saying that I should be, you know, like build this mystique or whatever. And man, listen, I'm gonna tell you something. I saw the first person that I saw that made me want to just drop that whole thing was David Allan Coe out at his merch stand talking to his fans. I thought that was the coolest thing in the world, you know. And at one time I met Scott Gorham from Thin Lizzy. And man, he sat with me and Tom O'Keefe and talked to us for, you know, over an hour. Signed everything I brought, man. I mean, I brought a lot of shit too. Most people would look at it now and go, I ain't got time to do all that, son. But he signed every one of them. And it wasn't just like Scott Gorham, Scott Gorham, Scott Gorham. To Jeff, rock on, Scott Gorham. To Jeff, nice meeting you, Scott Gorham. I mean, it was, and man, I've always been impressed when, you know, the bands show their fans that they appreciate them. And man, it's like we have had people bring boxes, bags, suitcases of our stuff. And they're like, you know, I know this is a lot. You know, you don't have to sign it all, but will you sign something? And it's like, man, we will sign every bit of it. And we don't charge people for it. You already bought it one time. It's a compliment to us that you even give a damn to have us put our name on it. Much less that you got, you know, 40 ANTiSEEN records. Goddamn. Yeah, that... I never thought much of the whole, you know, people acting like they were too good to speak to their fans and stuff, man. I've met some of the greatest people in the world talking to our fans. Met some assholes too, but I met a lot of great people. Lots. And I still like talking to our fans. And it's never an imposition to sign stuff. You know, like, I don't care what we got to do. If you've got it there and you lay it on in front of us, it's going to get signed, you know. It may take a while to get everybody together sometime. But thank you. Thank you, Mike. It's very nice hearing that. If you could have a wrestler join you on stage to do a duet, who would it be and what song? Michael P.S. Hayes, Bad Street, USA. But anyway, David Shaver, why did you even think you had to ask that question? You knew the answer when you wrote it down. God almighty. Let's see what else we got here. If I could relive, Reese Gentle wants to know if I could relive a gig, what gig was the best for me? You know, if I wanted to relive a gig, it would be to do it better. Not to relive it again. But there's plenty that I wish I could have done better. Man, that's a short period in my life where I drank quite a lot, and there was a few shows that I feel like I ruined the show. Now, throughout all of our lineups, we've had people get fucked up and get drunk, and they did their part of ruining the show. But man, I really feel bad because, you know, people pay to come see you. And they come to see you play, and they want to see you play well, and they want to see you put on a good show. And if I'm drunk and falling all over the place, I mean, maybe it's an amusing show, but I don't feel like I gave my all And I don't feel like any of my band members that chose to be inebriated during the show gave their all. And I feel like we ripped you off. And so, yeah, if I could go back and relive a gig, it'd be to do them better. But Tom Martin, memories from that 1994 tour with Cockneys. Man, that was a hoot. Man, I'm just going to tell you about the first show. I'm not going to tell you how the tour ended and went on. I'm just going to tell you about show number 1, Lafayette, Louisiana. Cockneys and ANTiSEEN, 1994. Second Amendment tour. Lafayette, Louisiana. Well, man, Cockneys plays, and you know what Cockneys does. They tear it up. So they got that crowd. It was a pretty decent crowd for it being a weeknight and everything, and in a town that neither one of us had been in, played in before. And man, it's like somehow, Cockneys got them stirred up really good. And by the time we came on, it was like, the blood was in the water and the piranha were already going, and so we go on, and man, it's like someone flipped the fucking switch. It's like, I think someone threw a beer bottle and hit Chris, that was playing guitar for Cockneys at the time, hit him right in the head, man, gave him a goose egg right there like that, and like, we're just like, what the fuck, and so, I'm already bleeding by this point, and I get into the audience, and man, some woman just takes a full pitcher of beer and douses me right in the face with it. I can't see. There's blood in my eyes. Now there's beer in my eyes. I can't see. And I bent down like this, and she took that pitcher and threw it and hit somebody else in one of the bands, and so at this point, I know that I'm kind of under attack. I know the guys are going to have my back in a minute, but, I got to protect myself down. So I let that mic cord, I used to take my mic up real good, and I let that mic cord get some slack on it. And I wrapped it around my hand, and I started doing the fucking windmill, like, and I backed that audience all the way up to the bar, man. I had a 10-foot circle where no one would touch me. But then, I stopped, and I had to get to the stage, and I get back up on the stage, and next thing I know, some guy comes up to the edge, and he is got his fingers up. He's raising hell. He's fuck you. Well, man, Joe just takes his guitar off and jumps in the crowd after him. Well, P.P. Urino and the Widowmaker, when fists start to fly, theirs are gonna be flying too. So man, it looked like a cartoon, man. It's a circle of people going, and it shook the PA. The PA was about to fall. Me and Greg were the only ones left on the stage. Tom had already jumped off stage at this point, and me and Greg were the only ones on stage. And the sound man came by and like started unplugging all the microphones and said, "Show's over." So we're like, "Oh well." So. Well, we didn't know it, but man, this carried outside, went down the sidewalk. Now, here's what happened. This guy and girl came to the show. I guess they wanted to hear, a 35-minute version of Slow Ride or something, but they didn't get it, and they were upset. And they sure didn't want to see a bunch of fucking cavemen bleeding and spitting all over the place, so the girl decides to douse me in the face with the beer and throw the pitcher. Well, as I was swinging that microphone, I found out she was getting ready to chuck another bottle, and that microphone hit her hand. Cut her hand, broke the bottle, and broke her wedding ring. So the guy's, pissed that we fucked up her wedding ring and fucked up her hand and everything. And so the best I can remember, PP and a Widowmaker chased the guy down the street quite a ways till they just, got away from him. And so we're just packing our shit up, going, well, first show. So the cops come. And, they come in and they want to know what the hell's going on. Man, I've always been good at talking to cops, I don't get an attitude. I don't give them that whole, that whole disrespect thing. I just talk to them. And so they made everybody stay in the club, and they made me come outside. And I'm just like, I managed to say to somebody, if I'm not back in 15 minutes, come out there and check on me. Because, I didn't know if they would think I was being some kind of wise ass and start working me over or whatever. But they're like, why are you bleeding? I said, man, we got a stage show that's a lot like pro wrestling. And I do the cutting bit, it's part of the show. I wasn't attacked. Well, so-and-so says, blah, 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 I said, officer, all I know is we were getting stuff thrown at us, and we protected ourselves the best way we could, because we were target. And they could tell I wasn't drunk, I wasn't fucked up or nothing, and then so they just, they said, well, listen, they're going to go down to the station, and they're going to file a report. And our advice to you is that you guys get packed up and get out of Lafayette. And we figured that it was cool. They didn't fuck with us, so we got on. We packed and went on down the road. We drove about an hour or two and got some place to stay then. But that was the first night of the Cockney's tour. It was exciting the whole time. Maybe not quite that exciting, but it was exciting. Damn classic shows, man. But that was '94, so yeah, I'm going to be talking about that at some point, because we're just about to enter the part of history where we meet Cockneys for the first time, and through meeting them, we join the Confederacy of Scum. So that's coming up. And don't you guys worry, there's more Gigi stories on the horizon. We had Gigi stories all the way until the end of his life, so they're coming. I'll give you a heads up. Man, we had about, I think I said earlier, we had 4,000 listeners on that one, over the last couple days. Really appreciate it. Let me see if there's a couple more questions, and then I'm going to bail on out of here. Who's the coolest pro wrestler you've met? Mick Foley. Man, I met Mick one time, the first time in '93. Gave him an ANTiSEEN shirt. He wore it on WCW television. It's when he was training the Barbarian. He's wearing one of those hippie-looking poncho type things over, but you can see the green, TISE, through his collar. And man, I was in seventh heaven seeing that. But every single time I have met him, he remembers my name. He asks about my family. He asks how I'm doing. And when people do stuff, when people make records and all, they do this. They give people their records. This was during the CD age, man. No one had record players, but I'm still giving Mick Foley copies of our albums and stuff. And I know he's looking at me. And one time he even says, I don't really have a record player. And I'm just like, well, keep it anyway. But the last time I saw him in person, I guess, he was doing one of his stand-up things at the Comedy Zone. And I said to him, I said, Mick, for years, in years I've been giving you stuff that you can't use. And he's kind of like, I said, well, I finally got something you can use after all this time. And his eyes lit up, and I handed him an ANTiSEEN coffee cup, and he's like, oh, yeah, yeah. So, yeah, he's consistently been a stand-up guy with me. Always nice, and always, anytime he sees people wearing an ANTiSEEN shirt or he gets asked to sign ANTiSEEN records sometime, and he always tells those people that if they see me to tell me hello, and I think that's really nice, And let me see what else we got here. No, I only talked to him on the phone the first time. I met him later in '93. We met Rudy. We just talked on the phone to Rudy Ray. We were supposed to have dinner with Rudy Ray Moore in Los Angeles. We were going to take him out to a steakhouse, man. But that little LA riot got in the way. So it was not to be. And Rudy Ray called my wife back in North Carolina to make sure we got out of Los Angeles okay. And, he's checking on us. Another real stand-up guy. All right, let's see if there's any more questions right here. All right. People from Italy watching. All right. Well, I'm not really seeing any more questions. At least none that have. I saw one about Rip Carnage, but man, that's an essay question. It'll take me a while to get through that. Biggest fight breakout at a gig, man. One of the craziest shows we ever did was at a place called Dottie's in Atlanta. And that was, that would have been 95, 96, 97, somewhere in there. Tripp was playing bass with us, and Barry was on drums at this point. And man, I don't think I'd ever seen nothing quite like that. I mean, we've seen some big fights now, but it seemed like the whole damn place was fighting. It's like, after a while, it got annoying because no one was watching us, Everyone was watching out, for the fights and stuff. But it was a rough one. The people in Atlanta talked about that one for quite some time. And that's why we couldn't get booked there for quite some time. Like it was our fault. All right. I'm going to look up one more here. Well, y'all, I ain't seeing no more questions. I don't know, maybe I skipped over one or two. Well, I'll tell you what then. I'm going to get on up out of here. I appreciate y'all coming around tonight. Sorry about all the damn technical difficulties. I will try to make sure that is not the case on Friday when I have a special treat for you. Don't forget, Friday, 5 o'clock. Sunday at 5 o'clock, Malcolm Tent. Monday at 5 o'clock, Mad Brother Ward. How much ANTiSEEN can you see? You guys take care. Don't live in fear.